Thank you guys very much for coming to the meeting, and I hope everybody is doing fine. It's a very important meeting that we should be having because things are not normal in our country, and unusual times or abnormal times require abnormal intervention. The meeting is open for anybody to give out their suggestions, comments, and contributions as to how we should act or operate as an institution. This is not for Mr. Joof to make a decision alone, but Mr. Joof can give guidance and the way forward. I will appreciate if we don't have any much interaction back and forth, in and out, opening doors and whatsoever. We should concentrate with the meeting, and that we should concentrate on it. To start with, I want to know how much people know or understand about the coronavirus, and of course the efforts that were made by Mr. Joof to actually educate you guys from months ago. If I would take that back, would you guys agree that Mr. Joof has done enough to educate people about coronavirus for months?
Yes.
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 Okay. So what have I educated you on? What are the things from what I have been saying for several months? What is it that you people understand about the coronavirus?
Yes, that corona COVID is real and it exists. But before, I think a lot of us don't believe in it, and we should observe the precautionary measures like the social distancing, disinfecting our gadgets, being mindful, putting on our masks, washing our hands regularly. We have done enough of that, like every meeting. I always teach you, Mr. Joof and Corona. So yeah, we tried a lot when it comes to that part.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other thoughts or something you would like to add?
Yeah, just like what Isaac said, also when going out for interviews, we use our bullhorns and make sure that we are far from the person we are interviewing in order to prevent ourselves from the virus.
And we treat one another like we all have, like the next person have corona. You should not trust anybody. Not your colleague, not your family member, not anyone. You should treat everyone like they have corona, and you should be more mindful.
Okay. Any other thoughts? I don't think only Isaac one either are in the building. Any other thoughts?
No. Hello, Mr. Yu. I think the same thing what Ida and Aisha said, that we should be mindful, and then corona is real, and then a lot of people are dying in the Gambia here, especially elderly people. It's due to corona, but people don't notice it, and there will be a time that, like you said, around July or August, that will be the peak of the virus, that many people will die, especially elderly people, and still our health sectors are not doing enough to protect us. So yeah, I think in short that's it.
Mr. Joof, you can check, I just sent a message.
Okay, hold on here, let me check that out. No.
Okay.
Yes. So, I have done everything I could, you guys will agree, to educate you on corona. And the last time in which we changed the policy of the institution and bring back everybody to come back to work and everything was when I asked you people, the managers at the meeting, if you believe in Corona, and almost every one of you said no, and you laughed about it and joked, right or wrong.
Right.
Yes. So I was very disappointed that day, but Mr. Joof is the type of person who does not have to yell or scream. I don't think me dama wara you who can wala fat suma kanam wala ma wane that ma mer to show my disappointment. But on that day I was very, very disappointed with all of you because I knew what Corona could do. I have been here and I see people who have it. And we've seen how it wrecked America and other economies. I have given tips and suggestions that if followed by any and all of you, it will save you and save your family. I've gone to the extent of telling you that even if it does not affect you people, individual elderly people, and your sick and vulnerable people you left at home. Did I say that or no?
You did.
You did.
Yes. So it is where we are right now. Musa has said it, that I told you guys about the WHO predictions, and I have asked, I think it was you, Aisha Tujalo, that have asked to ask the minister that question whether you or Aisha Tujalo about the WHO prediction. Was it you? Of 181,000 people contracting the virus, was it you?
Yes, it was me, and I blame you, Mr. Joof. Since the day you remind them that July and August will be the peak, since then I think they remember to that every day new cases. The last time I told somebody, Mr. Joof Mota, Guy Fata one, and that was what WHO predicted, and now you reminded them. But yeah, I asked that question.
So, Lumalende Jangal, what I teach you guys is coming from my heart and it's real, and I wish you can take it because it does not only apply to your life at work, but in your real life as well. I am very passionate about you people and what I am doing and Gambian talents as a whole. I am, and it's not a joke. Ma am ci dere ñaka ci am dere ma ci am. Nico Finger was my interview I had with Mustafa Njai of Construct Africa Global Basket Embassy. He offered me to sponsor my program, that he was very interested. I should change the name of my program, look at Gambia to them show, and he will sponsor me. If that's the only reason why you will sponsor me, then you will never sponsor me. I'm not sure if any of you watched it, but I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, and it hurts my feelings when I tell people something and they don't take it seriously. When what I know, it is right. Gambians listen to me, sometimes they don't. Sometimes bad things happen. The case of Lamin Boyan and all these new videos that are being exposed, these are things that I talked about years ago. I look at things that affect the society. I'm very passionate about, and I invest a lot of time and resources in doing research, talking about it, engaging people. Every day we pass the Amut Kuma call, or two, Amut Kuma call, or this, that, my new video is exposed, my new pictures, they have gone to my brother, my cousin, my this, my that. These are things I talked about years ago. Now people are told and everybody wants to come back to me. I barely have time for them. And I hope you people learn from this. When I say something, I don't have to yell or scream for people to know it. I believe we are all mature and grown. If we agree as an institution, I will respect what you people say. But I wish you respect what I say too and follow my lead. The majority carries people. Let me agree on us as team. I will go with that and I will happily make sure it happens the way we say it as a team because I'm a part of it. But moving on, I will definitely appreciate too if you will give me the benefit of the doubt and take my suggestion and follow my lead. Now it gets to the stage where all of you want to be screaming, all of you want to be scared, or your families will not allow you to come and be part of what you signed up for. We are a media fraternity, we are a media house, and as media, we are supposed to be frontliners. We are supposed to be frontliners. And as frontliners? In fact, let me ask, what do you guys understand the word frontliners to mean? What do you people understand the word frontliners to mean?
Frontliners, to my understanding, is people who are on the front. That is, if everybody should stay home, you should be the one to feed the people. You should be the one to help the people by giving them information.
Okay, any other thoughts?
Yes, it's kind of similar to what Fatu said. Frontliners is being in front of everything, whether celebration, whether dangerous or critical condition. In whatever situation, you should be in the front line to educate and engage the public, to inform them, educate and engage them. There's nothing like it's raining or there is a war, there is a celebration and whatsoever. Whatever happens, you should be there to inform the world about what is happening.
Well, I'm glad that you people took it to the next level by specifying journalism frontliner, but a frontliner in any case are people who are in the forefront of stuff, who will be involved in taking care of stuff and providing services. And in this case, the healthcare workers in this situation are frontliners. In other occasions, like maybe the Red Cross, they are Red Cross volunteers and others are frontliners. They are not expected to abandon their post. Even though or on Friday, on Thursday today, the Red Cross volunteers were out and about going to bury people. Being in the school, of course, if they are provided with all the tools and gadgets, especially that, I know it's very important. There is nothing to be scared about in doing your work, and if you die in doing that work, you are a martyr. You are a martyr. I'm not sure if you guys know what a martyr is.
No.
Does any of you know what a martyr is?
It's kind of like
Somebody.
hero, someone that
Go ahead.
sacrificed. It's more like hero, being a hero, someone that sacrificed his life just to satisfy others or to do the right thing.
Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. Somebody who dies doing the right thing, the right cause, serving humanity, serving your people, doing what you signed up for and what you are expected to do. You become a martyr. Lemalena, what exactly is what I do. I am here as a frontliner at the beginning of this whole COVID thing. You guys see me posting stuff. In fact, some of you have edited some of the videos that I did, in which I am issuing help to the Gambians over here. Every day I'm meeting several people, nothing less than 5-10 people who I am giving gift cards, helping them with grocery assistance. I mean, helping them paying their bills and stuff. It's money that is given to me by the county and the government to give to the Gambian people here, giving out masks and stuff. Have you stumbled on these videos and pictures on the page, or you've edited any for me?
Yes, we saw it.
Huh?
Yes, we saw it.
So I am doing that. I'm a frontliner. I have in fact uploaded all those videos on YouTube for you people to edit for me. I was at the prayer ground doing my thing as well. But I had to be careful. The only disappointment I had is I ordered a boom pole that didn't get here. It got here yesterday. But still, I went to 2 prayer grounds to cover that. I did. We observed the social distancing. I followed all the necessary things. I have my gloves on. I have my mask on. I have my wipes and my hand sanitizer with me. I observed the social distancing between myself and the people I was interviewing to the best of my ability. Even though I didn't have a boom pole, but I have my gloves on. And I left the distance between me and them. I had my mask on when I interviewed them. So these are the type of things that are needed to be done. I'm a frontliner myself. And film started. It started here. So being a frontliner means being able to, being there to serve the people. So as journalists or media frontliners, as cameramen, as editors, we need to be able to be out in the field to show the people what is happening, to talk to the people, to show them what is happening so that they can make an informed decision, to expose what is happening, whether positive or negative. It's so unfortunate that the entire Gambian media fraternity seems to be shut down. If you go to all of them, some of your colleagues have tested positive. Even if it doesn't affect them, a good number of them are going about doing their business or self-quarantining. They are not affected. But like I said, let's remember those who, and this is because they are asymptomatic. Do you guys know what being asymptomatic means?
There is no sign telling you what is happening.
There is no what?
There is no sign like coughing or...
Yes, you don't show any symptoms. You don't show any signs or symptoms. Yanko Munchio, why your neck would be a If you are a strong and healthy young person like Ibrahim Simon that is going about exercising and moving around and doing things, do not affect. You're not going to have any issue. Do not affect your day. But guess what? You can easily give it to other people. And those people who have underlying medical conditions. Your elderly people, age alone is a sickness of its own. Aging is a sickness of its own. So you start to have a lot of complications. I feel for my old father now, whenever I talk to him, I feel it for him. He cannot sleep at night. He has so many complications and things that are happening with him. He cannot even talk long. His energy is gone because he's 90 years old now. He's getting there. So it's very important that we understand this. Excuse me?
Vinta says she's calling you.
Who said he's calling me?
Vinta, she said she's online.
She's not supposed to. We are supposed to join the call. She called her in. Her number is on the call.
Okay, you can call her.
She's supposed to be. Tell her to join the call. Tell her to join the call. If the call is active and she just needs to join. The call that she saw that I called her, she needs to join that call. If not, the man put that call back altogether.
Okay.
Yes. So, what was the last thing I said? We are talking about being asymptomatic, right?
Wow.
Yes.
Yes. So you understand when we asymptomatic, it means younger and younger because you're better the foot la. So younger don't there is nothing but and just mild symptoms here and there. Corona is new and it is being researched. And one thing that you people should understand, it is not going anywhere. Coronavirus is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. So that if you just join. Hello? 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 Okay, are you guys here? Let's continue our meeting, please.
Yes.
Okay. One thing I want you to understand is that coronavirus is not going anywhere. It is here to stay to join the family of diseases. Do you guys know what that means? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Can you respond?
Yes. It means it's here to stay like malaria, AIDS and other diseases or viruses that have been existing. So we should learn to coexist with it, like observing the social distancing and taking the precautionary measures serious, because it's not going any soon and it needs to be resolved.
Yes. So the only difference with corona is because close the door for me, please. The only difference with corona is it does not have any cure or vaccine yet, whereas the other diseases that are already in existence, there has been a cure or a vaccine developed for it, where you can take the vaccine and it can prevent you from having it, or you can take medication for it. So, dama malaria, dama TB, or dama gonorrhea, or I have this, or I have that, and it is treated, or dama such. Corona will be here, and once a vaccine is developed, it will become like any other disease. Right now, everybody is ashamed. In the future, I can see either the job in Musa because Musa for corona, and it will be a normal thing. Right now, corona is a shame to a lot of people, but there will come a time where people will say, "Oh, you also I call," just like Fatamba said, Binta Muneda for but no. Binta will call the office and say, "Dama corona munumanu," and this will be a normal thing. So if we understand this, we will develop ourselves in a way, we will set strategies and develop ourselves to do things that are sustainable by changing our attitude. So at this point, the only thing needed with corona is for us to change our attitude and nothing else. Changing our attitude and the way we do things and avoid doing the same things as we used to do them. These are unusual times, the most of things in life, and you guys are no exception. Gambia and Gambians are no exception to changing their lives about corona. You are no exception. And who is that? Winter. Okay. I hope I'm low corona.
Mr. Joof,
you see, he's in denial. I just said it, that there will come a time that people will be corona and they say, okay, I'm a corona. Right now you will be in denial because you think having corona is a bad thing. We all get sick. You have malaria, you have this thing, you can say, oh, I'm malaria, or I'm fever, or I'm fever village. You are diagnosed with something and you try it. There will come a time that people will, killing them of corona will be a normal thing. Because corona is here to stay, it's not going away anywhere. It's not going away. And this is something that we need to understand. This is something that we need to know. At the end of the day, it is something that exists. So if you have that orientation, what is needed is changing your mindset, changing your mentality, changing the way you do things. That's the fundamental, most important thing. Now, staying home, is it going to help you? Yes. The more you stay home at this point to avoid transmitting it, allow them to places where you only get to provide essential services. And remember that. You go to places where you only get to provide essential services. And what do you guys understand by that here? The word essential services being underlined here. What do we understand that to mean?
I don't understand.
I said staying home is very important in the era of coronavirus. People should only go out to provide or seek essential services.
Oh, okay. Essential.
Most needed goods or services.
Ma'am?
Most needed goods or services.
To provide.
Yes. To provide, go ahead, Aisafu.
Yes, like Musa said, to do necessary things, not to go out for unnecessary things. Like for instance, going to work is necessary as forefronters, but going to the beaches, to the clubs, those are unnecessary services. You are not providing any service to anyone. and you are being exposed, because whenever you are in public, you are being exposed. So the underlying word there, essential service, is providing necessary services that made a positive impact to your life and to the life of others.
Yes, when we talk about essential or basic services and commodities, I think that without them, life can be hard or miserable for you. These are supposed to be basic things for you and your family. Then duga, then get letter, go into the pharmacy to buy medication. Of course, you as journalists providing, information to the public is very important. Red Cross going to feed, to bury the people that are dying of corona. Basic things that are needed and necessary. Make a law you can do without it, you avoid it. A friend is sick, you have to. Now in this situation, I was disappointed with my leadership. Sorry, Katifa Samba, Aida and Binta, because I remember at every occasion, all three of them have been to Ngentes, have attended Ngentes, and or either Ngentes or Taka or some form of health. When there is corona in the country, no genera I did an audio, a 10 minutes audio, several hours ago, a few hours ago, which is going viral right now. People are sharing it on the WhatsApp. And these are the things that I say there. Oh, my lamo genera effect. How will it be seen? How about you go and you contract corona there and you give it to your family? You give it to your brother, you give it to your sister, your father, your mother, or your little child. Pregnant women going to these places. Then gente do falta. Then taka do falta. Going to birthday parties or any other type of event, including funerals. You guys may not understand the magnitude of this. Who and who were at the mosque to cover the King Fahad Mosque?
I was there with Saul, Father
Okay.
Saul and Ida.
Okay. Now I am told, of course I asked Pasamba why we didn't interview Imam Ratib, and she said Imam is sick. I just got message that yes, he is very sick and potentially corona himself and 7 other members of the Muslim Elders Committee of Banjo. Alun Boy died. 7 of them. Where did they get it from? Supposedly from Biri's funeral. I criticized them during Biri's funeral. I criticized the funeral of Yai Esa Fal. I was disappointed with Esa Fal for participating in such an event. Yesterday I saw a video of him trending in which he is telling people to observe social distancing and wear masks and stuff. I think that is nonsense. When I have the time and the free mind, I will go and criticize him again. It is not critical because he organized that funeral. Momo organized Lolo. I got the information. Omar Wali called me of the party network, called me personally to tell me that he was just leaving Esa Fal's house and that day Esa had already confirmed the funeral arrangement. Why organize such an event? Why the president will organize a big state burial for Bini? It can be organized. They should have done the state burial, but it should have been just limited people who ban the organized social distancing. No president and the few people who spoke. No rek no for Waronaneka and everybody else watches it on TV. You have all these people. I have had Samba interviewing a lot of them from Nyom O.J. Gallo, Nyom MC Cham, Nyom Anil Boy that passed away. Imam Ratib. You have all these elderly people who were there. They just exposed themselves. And in fact, at the masjid was worse because that was an indoor place. The people follow social distancing, no. Everybody was touching the microphones and talking, including Imam Ratib himself. He was at the center of it at Esa Fal's mom. Everybody was right there. The Sheikh Omar Faiz, Minister of, whatever. So there are so many things that happen in the country that people are not paying attention to. Elderly people going to expose themselves. And I'm saying this, you may think Mr. Joof Tapabare was Mr. Joof and Corona, because your parents might be old. Each of you being in your 20s and your 30s, I would imagine your parents should be in their 50s or 60s. I stand to be corrected, right or wrong?
Yeah, it's right.
Yes, and they may have underlying medical conditions. So if any of you catches corona here, you take it to your parents, or your parents want to go to places, I will encourage you to go and educate your parents first. Educate them. If not, they will need to give work on now. Because people are dying. You go to death house right now, they don't have any place to put these people. They don't. I mean, from your death. Need day of corona, they don't have place to put them at death house. I said, how many beds did the ministry say they prepared when I told you to ask that question?
I think it was 30. And even yesterday, last night, my dad was putting it to our notice. Day before yesterday, we had a funeral and they said at their house there is no even space. People are dying like hell. Some are even placed
I didn't hear what you said. I said, I didn't hear what you said. You said what?
I said when we asked, I think their response was about 30 beds, not even up to 50. And last night, my dad was like putting into our notice that few days ago we had a funeral and they said when they went to the dead house, there was not even enough space for them to keep the dead bodies. Like the dead house is full of bodies. That was one reason. Even today my dad said we are all not going out, nobody, and I was like, you know, I'm this and that, I'm a frontline, I can't cut so he's so worried right now, he's so panicked, especially at the moment he went there and saw that there is no even enough space. He said people are dying like hell.
Well, he should not have gone there, and I will encourage all of you to talk to your parents. I know it will be tough, but this is not the moment for that. We should leave those things to be done with the Red Cross or by the Red Cross. And that is just the reality. And they will expose themselves by going to these places. Binta, if you can mute yourself until you have something to say, please, because your noise is coming out here. Yes, please, mute yourself until you have to say something.
Salima Dubangra is also on your line.
Salimatu is on which line?
Sanyan's phone. She called on WhatsApp.
Okay. So the reality is people are not supposed to be going to these places. No Ganarafet, Benmasika. How are we going to do this? Even if they are going, they need to be very prepared and have only one person go rather than multiple people. Have the young people go. If somebody is dead, they are already gone. I understand it's painful. You want to pay your last respect and stuff. But do you want to go with that person? And elderly people going to these funerals and going to these places, that's what they're going to cost themselves. That's what they're going to cost themselves. So I wish and hope that you educate your parents to understand that they are putting themselves in great risk. And Simko Ame, the chance for them to survive is very minimal. Very minimal. Every year, my family here, we go to my uncle's house to spend the Tobacco. This year, we spend a couple of days there, 2, 3, especially this year that it was weekend. We could have gone there and be there from Thursday all the way to Sunday before we come back. But we went on Tobacco Day at 7 o'clock. We spent only a couple of hours and we were back and we observed social distancing. We went back the next day and the same thing. But we observed social distancing. So life is going on, but it's modified. You need to modify your life. These are not normal times, and we should not act normal. We should not treat it as normal times. Ligena Rafet, Hamnenko. I see it's not about Ligena Rafet. Again, I am talking, and I hope we educate our families, and educating means you don't have to yell or scream, wala for second. For second. You can take the horse to the river, you cannot force it to drink. I'm not meaning go for second, just like I am doing educating you guys. I would encourage you to educate your families as well at home to let them know that this is the reality and that everybody needs to cut that chain of communication and sharing. We believe in it. Sharing. When you name your boka, you're going to talk to you. When you know boka like a together, You see me share pictures of me and my family, we share. Yes, we can do that because we are all within the same circle. Today, I'm not today, and to the best of my ability, when I go out, I try to avoid. Even the same car that I drive, I have to spray it all the time. I have to spray it. I will put hand sanitizer on my hand. This issue of wearing masks gets uncomfortable. Do you think it's only in Gambia? Those policies have been enforced here a long time ago. You don't go to any public place without wearing masks. They're not going to provide service to you. Do you allow that? Do you allow? But today, when we were going to my uncle's house on Saturday, I wanted to stop by the store to buy something. My Ramaduga store before 7. They will not allow me to get in. I have to go back to my car, grab my mask, and come back. Now, I said I was disappointed with you guys from a couple of months ago. I have masks here that is given to me to give up. Mask. Ready-made, very nice one. But when you guys said you don't believe in Corona, I didn't do it.
Everything was kind of back to normal. To be honest.
Well, that is why I didn't. Because in the next week or two, I don't exit. The time that I asked you guys about these things, if people had taken it seriously, I would have sent you guys a lot of masks because I have masks, I have sanitizers, I have gloves that I could have sent you. No, don't help. But I thought, okay, let me leave this here and do what I have to do, where it is going to be a lot more useful. It wasn't just my email and for no, it's just useful here. Then the regular send message, more masks for them because they're running out. I'll be taking some masks tomorrow. So Gambia is no exception and you people are no exception. I understand we have a lot of cultures and traditions. We must break them. We must break them. To be record with people pray together. To be record with people do nafila together and all families coming from different places. We understand the type of settings that we have in our families. But you must cut those things. You must. If you have a family that is a family house, mom, the Kawala people that are okay, Papa, as I cousin, the Kawala, I sister, my brother, or you listen, and those people are going in and out. Let them stay in their house and you stay in your house. If people are going out, they must be exposed my neck. When I go out and I come back, especially where I interact with people, the first thing I do is place my washer and dry. You guys may not have washer and dryer to put your clothes in. Even though I don't wash it immediately, but I put it in the washer. Just to avoid it being exposed to my family. That's one of the things that you need to do. I don't know, look at public transport, look at van, look at little bit and do interact with people, and you come the same clothes when you talk because you're going out of the couch. Or whatever you're going to sit that you share with your parents or your loved ones. You have to be able to understand these basic things. You have to cut the chain how coronavirus can be transmitted. It's by avoiding dealing with the next person who has it. And like Aisha Jallo said, treating everyone as somebody who potentially has it. Let me use Fatamba as an example. Kuko Hall PM, she's our boss, Fatamba is our boss, who told you? If the president and the vice president and ministers are having it, what makes you think the next person cannot have it? Corona, Hamud Bur, Hamud Badola, Hamud, Imam, Pastor, Nipatian. Yes, somebody has to say something.
Yeah, Anamaso just came. Can he join the meeting or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Adamaso is supposed to be one of us. I haven't confirmed to him yet, spoken to him yet, but he's officially going to be, hired as one of us. I haven't discussed it with him, but yes, he can. So we all have to have this understanding. We all have to be aware. We all have to be able to put this in at the back of our mind. Corona is here to stay. And the only way to do this is by cutting the chain of transmission. which is by interacting, by sharing things. Settled Bur, settled Badora. So if you are looking at Fasamba Munut Koam, let's say, the whole Kenyan that you think he Amudara wala Munudara, na head focus office this, Fakna Koko Koam, you'll be surprised that Fasamba might be the potential person carrying it. Vice President, where did she get it? The president is
I read a story, they say she's seriously sick.
What's your Twitter that says to her?
She tweeted.
Yes.
But according to a
Day
family
before,
member.
even after the it does not even take her 48 hours for her to write, tweet on her Twitter that I'm well and okay.
Is it her page?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Can we have one meeting? What are you saying? It's okay, but can we have one meeting? It's not a conversation. Can we share the ideas? What was who was talking and what were you saying?
I saw on social media that the vice president is seriously sick. She's still not recovering. But I sort of said she saw on Twitter that the vice president just tweeted and said she is feeling fine, well and healthy.
I even saw it on MC Cham's WhatsApp status, screenshot her Twitter as well, where she said, I'm fine, I'm well now, and please observe the precautionary measures. And MC put down, you want to play with us within less than 48 hours, you want to tell us you are okay with corona, who are you trying to fool? Things like that.
Well, she can be asymptomatic as long as she was well. But if she had any underlying medical conditions, believe it or not, it will disturb her. It doesn't mean many underlying medical condition with the day of corona, but that then they get in bubaha, which means it's just your immune system is compromised. Your immune system was a soldier here. Who wins a war more? Mostly the country that has more soldiers and strategies, strong men and women who know what they're doing, or the one with less system. Let's say if a country was to fight, one who has 1,000 soldiers, very effective soldiers, and the ones that have 10 soldiers.
The one that has
Who's
1,000 soldiers.
Okay. So of course you can have 1,000 soldiers if they are useless soldiers, But then if you have 1,000 effective soldiers, you can actually win the war. So you stand a better chance of winning the war. And it's the same thing. So your body has what is called your white blood cells, and they are the things that are supposed to be fighting for your body. They are your body soldiers. And these white blood cells, they get weak. If corona comes in, it weakens the white blood cells. The diseases that we are dealing with all this while, that they are manageable or treatable, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, asthma. These are all things that you can treat. These are all things that okay, but like you can go to the hospital and get medication for them and you will be better. Or you don't even go to the hospital. Every day you are given this medication and you are treating it from home once you are taking your medication. Now, if corona comes, the first will let it weaken your immune system. So corona, those things will start to aggravate, and the medication you are taking for that will not be effective. You start to have symptoms that you don't understand, like the shortness of breath. Don't like mental control, especially that shortness of breath symptoms. So Sigatal, you need to cut the chain through which corona can be transmitted. When we talk about hand washing, and I emphasize this, a lot of people think, okay, it's just to wash your hands with soap and water. It's not only that. When you wash your hands, let you alcohol. That solo. On Sunday, I was at the store buying something. This photo came. Then a photo saw me there, and he's very excited because he sees me on TV. And it was his first time meeting me. And he came, oh, Mr. Gambian Talent, man, I love you, I love what you do on Saturday. He wanted to shake my hand and I wouldn't shake his hand. He even wanted to give me a bump. I have, short sleeve start on me. suma yaram be yaramam bi dafa laalante kon ci bilam ma ko na jox nii and I would not do that either. I might have told him, hey, man, the corona era, man, let's not make these people laugh at us getting mouth cortisol. I complimented him and thanked him. But I would not shake his hand or give him a bump. I didn't. Russia Makoko is not usual time. And we are not willing to what a people should learn to do certain things that we did not used to do well. When I open my doors, my want my kid is my bonnet to make suma halis me bigger my hope to do wherever they are. Then if I rush no man, salam alaikum daddy and shake my hand. This is February lulu bigger empty. This is February lulu bigger empty. So many you know the house from a distance. Salam alaikum daddy and that's it. Then the shake suma loco, can you give anything? Then every Wednesday, I used to buy McDonald's for my kids. They love McDonald's. Every Wednesday, then I want to eat Giral for the dinner. Every other day, we eat what we have at home. In Amazing Kere, in Amazing Tura, get a later. Once a week, I buy them McDonald's. This is my fellow bigger and tea. So people are changing their ways. We have to change a lot of things. But with time, they have to adapt and understand. I educated them to know that it is risky to be buying food from outside. So for those of you that are eating from outside every day, you better stop that actually you are buying. Them run for Vulihar actually. You better stop. It may sound funny, right? You guys are laughing. But I'm serious. Either.
Nah.
Are you going to stop your article you are buying?
Now I have a small bowl where I put cherry. I don't buy a chicken now.
Okay. Okay, well, whatever it is. The bottom line is, when they run in there, the moment near you, at least you guys like us in there, the or restaurant you. You never know who carries this. You never know who is carrying corona. So the less you can avoid outside, the better it is. Invest into the healthy stuff the same way because of big lake of Opunono. If you are used to buying stuff from the restaurants and from especially guys at in there, more than a bonnet. Avoid it. Eat from home as much as you can. Eat from home. Everybody is affected with corona. And there will come a time where there will be scarcity of things. So the bottom line is, it is very important that we understand how corona is doing. When you wash your hands, there was one meeting we had in which I asked Sanyang to tell us how many stuff he touched when he came from the Guinea, then more extra meeting, and I think it was 20-something things or 30-something things that he touched. Did you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. So the same thing applies. You cannot be touching stuff, no. You cannot be touching things left and right. Go make and lal. Avoid sharing things. I put this on the list of things that I think we need to do. In particular, we are safe as an institution and we can resume our life back. But if any of you fails to follow the things that I have written down, it's as useless as us not doing it at all. It's not a one-man show. So go either they say Fat Tamba they could call it's not okay. So go Fat Tamba they say Musa they could call it's not okay. We all have to be on the same page. We all have to respect these things and understand it. Corona is here to stay, and if you choose to stay home, because yaga dinga delo si wat. There are Gambian parents somewhere else. And guess what? Life is going to continue. And I'm saying this because some of you may choose to stay home. Your parents may ask you to stay home. Your families, your husbands and wives and boyfriends and girlfriends and whatever may ask you to stay home. Your uncles and aunties, you can choose to stay home. It's not sustainable. It is not. Staying home is not sustainable. Going to work is essential commodity. It's essential service. Because you need to feed your family. I work. But my careful? Yes. When I get to my work in my car, again, the systems are different, the places are different. Some motor be man for hand sanitizer, man for Clorox wipes, bleach wipes, man for Clorox spray with bleach spray you. Some of them, you know, bunta line the car spray. Again, I have a training with you guys in which I trained you about buntai, especially buntai one, cutting it and stuff. Lal buntai mo gana muna yakan it, yaket buntai, especially buntai one. You have people going in and out, cutting stuff, doors, cameras. If we all develop the habit of cleaning anything before we use it and after we use it, we will be good to go. We are ready to support you. Binta is on the phone. Fatamba is here. They can authorize you. You said, Nakala, if the money is not available, I will provide it from then gender, all the basic things in Sohla. To make sure you know wise things. Now understand the magnetic cameras and the gadgets are very expensive. Or who must spray anybody, spray anything on any of the gadgets to go after. Again, I will emphasize that. When you are even spraying anything, you can put it on a napkin or on a piece of paper or sheet of whatever, piece of cloth or something, where you will spray it then on the what you call it, on the napkin and then the wipe off. Not spraying the camera to go on. Because the should be camera or any of the gadgets, computers or whatever. I hope that's understandable. Yes, you don't need a whole lot of things, but we need to be spraying the stuff. We need to be cleaning the stuff. If there is a need to take out anything and wash it, we best go. I remember in one of the meetings, as a Pujalo or some of you said that in the DNA, foam balls on the mic and wash it and do all of this. We need to get to those things. Let's wipe the surface. Let's wipe the surface. If we can allocate things to the people, okay, computers, we give these 3 people use the or Subangon use the computer B, use computer B. The less people use something, the better it is. At my work, we can share computers. We can share things to do our notes and stuff. You know, your computer or anything for and we do if it is locked because of the nature of our job and for security reasons we have to lock it. I can understand that, and in your case we may need to lock for security reasons as well. But small lock light then everywhere is light. Ma agi si light, the water boss light, before hard more green dada for mamuna dog them. Like yesterday, typical example, I walked a long distance. Ma aga si light, dama ampur boss. I have to carry a napkin with me. Otherwise, when I'm paper towel. Dama ampur carry ko. Ma aga napkin the light, boss light. They may use small of it, my ordinary hand for pressing. These are little things that people forget about. So you cannot wash your hand and the next minute you are getting everything else that is taught by someone else. No! You know how fast I'm call man I got wala saying, upara jox ma telephone be na am waxala ak Mr. Joof or waxala ci dina téye telephone bobu I will not touch it. Just last week, Fatamba and I had a meeting with somebody there, an executive. And Fatamba took the phone, I was on the phone. The person would not take the phone and Fatamba had to tell him, okay, I'll put it on speaker, this is it. And Fatamba had to put the phone on speaker for Mowaha's mom. He would not take the phone and he shouldn't have touched the phone. So you guys exchange phones, definitely. Of his phone bill, wipe it as much as possible, as many times as you can. All the gadgets in the share, yet you have to be wiping them off. You will buy the stuff that is needed, whether it is the office phone, whether it is the iPad. You don't know as lady. I don't even see you guys. I observe in social distancing, nothing can talk here right now. How are you guys sitting down?
Thank you.
Huh?
And they are far from everyone.
Space between us
How much space?
can be 1 meter.
This is not 1 meter. Dapat kalau kami ni honda dalam muka. Naik ke
So you see, it starts with that. It starts with that. Same orientation, it starts with that. We should cut down the number of people that come in. We should be able to show that we can observe that social distancing. I did my Lutak Gambia Ruden show last week. I criticized swing celebrities who are not observing social distancing. Just on that program and she hugged somebody and brought in all these pictures at Nikoron Twitter. I criticized her for that. I criticized SFR to BGI for bringing all these people together and then they were crowded there. I criticized the president for taking his mask out when he was talking at BB's event and how there was no social distancing. I criticized Mustafa Njai, Maron interviewing me for giving Khadija a ram, observe social distancing and holding the microphone. They mako interview like for apologize to Lulu Nama of Madiga. Then anyone did not observe. But I will tell you, microphone, Bumati, or Madam, I have a hand sanitizer in my pocket, according to him. When we hand sanitizer, whenever he does anything, he washes his hands, and that is it. He uses his sanitizer to sanitize his hands. But how many of you have access to have hand sanitizer in your pocket all the time, like Kabajai? So I criticize them. But guess what? When I shared the status of the road to Leonel that you guys did there a couple of days ago, when I shared it on my status, who's there you saw it, my friend, and then that's the first thing he said, he was here last night. We observed social distancing, and he was again with you criticized himself as everybody else, or as a guy, he looked in the video, and he can show the 4 bongo man, he can show, he can see, Nakala or Borom Kofi, he saw the lady that was there, Fast Teka and Fast Samba, and he's like, me, 7 people, like, okay, he's like, okay, so how many cameramen are there? Who was the one taking the video? Basically, he knows there was more than 10 people in that room. About to accept. I accepted it. I was criticizing himself 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Now my own place was crowded like that. I didn't have a choice but to accept what he said. And not only him, even if you go online, people who are watching, they are saying, hey, observe social distancing, wear a mask, this and that. So we need to cut the chain. We need to cut the chain. Don't trust anybody. Observe social distancing. Wear a mask. Wash your hands as many times as possible. I understand how we are with that. I'm like fish bar, they say, yeah, give me no letter, and Jack, and Rahasu. When I got on a new fish bar, wash your hands as many times as you can, especially before you touch food, before you touch your face and stuff. And every time you get diva, especially applying makeup, applying lipstick, if Adam just comes and shakes your hand, or uses the camera, giving you them to go watch it, to go them to come back, living only to come and bring the camera back. You use the same camera or touch it, or touch the memory card that Adam also touched, and the next minute you are doing your program, you have to come and do your makeup. Does it make sense? So you need to avoid sharing stuff and get to the habit of wiping down places. I have written all of these things down to you. We've cut the number of people that are going to be coming to the office for each shift. You should still be able to maintain all that we're doing. Like I said, if you choose to stay home, you stay home. But sooner or later, you are going to come back out. Because no way they stay forever. Staying home is just to minimize it and get people to get used to it, then understand. See, everything is back to normal. Not normal, but then places have opened again. At some point, things were closed and shut down. So we live in a referendum. Once you can observe these things, you can be certain and you can free yourself from coronavirus. We are not telling each of you for your own village. All the stuff that you would need to be able to protect yourself from the office. We will try to provide it as much as we can. We are making every effort to make sure that even transportation is provided for people. We are trying to make sure that that is done. It's trying times, it's difficult moments. So however the less we can expose people, the better it will be. The better it will be. It doesn't only stop here, you know. You have to educate your family. You may have a brother, a sister, a cousin that is going out. You may am ngeen ci magaraka ak ci doom ci julli bi na seen xale yi génn dem xali boobu. Did they not go for xali boobu?
In my house, nobody. In my house, nobody, not even our mothers. Nobody goes out.
Nobody what? I didn't hear that. Everybody is talking. Can we talk one at a time?
I said in my house, nobody. My dad didn't allow anyone to go out. And the few visitors that we have, they stop outside. My dad is very, 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 right now, I think Mom dafa am trauma about this. Dafa how confused with this virus. The visitors that he saw sight of, they all stop outside. Kunyore. Mom mu ngi toog si biti ku ñëw boobu la laa welcome ngeen waxtaan bare nga dem.
I'm proud of him. Not only his feral son, his feral father is proud of him.
Dafa confused.
Well, that's what needs to happen. Like ñoom Binta ñi dem julli ji ak ñoom Ibu Keita ak ñëpp, it's not okay. It's not right. My uncle a ngi dem julli ji moom tamit suma uncle ñi def Korota, Korota, that's doing the Digente program. We went to pray in Senegal. It's not okay, it's not right. We have to pray with his entire family. It doesn't make sense. Yes, Binta. It doesn't make sense. You shouldn't have gone. You say what?
Seriously, I said this time even for there was no celebration because even the day didn't allow people to go. I was trying to educate them to tell them, money this time how they didn't celebrate and stuff, and they were telling me, how they want to favor take on money favor be extra with female so when you get for when they were like and how it made them celebrate. But unfortunately, I can say fortunately, the water won all along. It was raining until the next day. So
you are confirming that the same thing they used to say, every probable Limuntalal African, so people in the provinces believe that this is every Congo, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yes,
People say that to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to raise but like seriously. So in any case, Binta, I've seen pictures of the ferry. I took a picture of the ferry the day before, the same day being across. That's the same day. You say what?
I was so scared when I was coming yesterday. Day before yesterday at night, I didn't even sleep because I was thinking, coming to mingle on this way. Because when we were going, we used the Gambia highway because we went with our own car. But this time when I'm coming back, I used the normal vehicle. So I was scared. I was like, this corona, I was also part of the people who were in denial. But now I think I am getting very scared now. Because of the incident that happened at Ousman, so some guy, I was like, how many miles the couple that died? And they said it's corona, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that died at Ousman.
Yes. Yeah, you were very stubborn. You are very stubborn, and I didn't have to hear of screens. Every week or two, Binta will have one show. My cousin, someone said, "This my will be taken. Will you be having health left and right?" And you can talk.
Hello, my health.
Well, I was telling you, more than a reference. Someone said, "Nice, the power living." This is about your life and your livelihood. You have to be here to be able to go to these health. I've been telling you guys, and I am glad that you are actually getting it together. And honestly, all of you must get it together. If you don't respect it, if you don't follow it, it's useless. And I'm saying this is why I want all of you to be in the meeting. Because it's useless if one person does not follow any of these precautions. It's useless. If one person does not follow it, it's useless. Yes, you may not stay with your mom, you may not stay with your dad, but even yourself. You never know. Corona is very unpredictable, by the way. I'm not saying that it does not be very hard. It can. The couple that died, Binta, are they old?
Yeah, they're old.
Yes. Yes.
University boy.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yes. The one that we just did the documentary for just about a month ago, or thereabout. Less than a month. He was very healthy and Pastor was interviewing him. Now, in fact, now how about Alium Boy need to baby Biri because somebody is interviewing Alium Boy at Biri.
What's that?
But somebody just interviewed Biri. Alium Boy at Biri thing. So this is a joke. It is not a joke. Must be that they not father their left and right, that they not tackle knife.
Some people are still in denial with this because
Well,
somebody's in denial. They're not going to be bigger. I'm like, what?
Madam was say Sunday, I think 11 or 10. Red Cross way. Dead body, boom, pump, pim, pump.
So you guys need to understand this and you need to work on it. Now, remember it is here to stay. Educate your families to understand that Corona is here to stay. That is key. That Corona is here to stay. So staying home is not the solution. Temporarily you can stay home and only go out to get essential service. In fact, I encourage all of you, let's say that stuff to keep at home to use. The less you can go out, the better it is. Buy your taco malo, your two taco malo, your taco limon, your julian, and all of these basic things that you are going to need that you can use. If you used to spend 2 hours at the market, you only spend 30 minutes there when you go for shopping. The less you can stay outside, the better it is. It can be tough. Today I save Khali. So when your parents pass away, you will spend it on it. I'm not praying for this for any of you, but I don't want people to be in denial. I don't want people to be in denial. Now, all the measures that I say, we cut down the number of people. Now we will start strategizing to see how we're going to cut down the number of people, to reschedule, to make the schedules. I've left a message in the WhatsApp group, and I sent one in the messenger for people to listen to the message I sent on the WhatsApp group. For everybody else, people who don't want to come, you can stay home. But if nobody comes, you are not getting paid, and hopefully you may not be here when Corona is finished. Media work is not a thing of convenience. All if we follow all these mechanisms and policies that I suggest, if we approve it and we adapt it as a team, if we follow it as I have indicated, we would not have this problem. Now, I used to suggest a lot. Let's use boom pole. All of you started for the first time, but the last person and them cover using your boom pole. Make it a habit now. Make it a habit to be using your boom poles if you have to. Let's modify some of the programs that we are doing. All the shows we are having, we can still have. Can we do it over the phone if necessary? Can we do it through Zoom? You are lucky that you have Zoom. My interview with Tafanja has over 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 views. It was done through Zoom. We talk through Zoom. I didn't see him. Gisumako. It has a lot of reading. In fact, President Barrow himself was watching this show. Because as soon as we finished, Kafanga called me and told me, he called me and said, oh, guess who was calling me? Barrow Moko don't call because how happy he is with the show, and don't say, and Manag Mom, yet we did well, whatever, whatever. It was a very good show. Did I have to go to him? No. The same thing applies to you guys. You can still do programs virtually if we have to. And we go out in the field, yes. Another one dead house. Instead of them to house economy guy, they said, and everything. You can be from a distance and you are zooming in what is happening. You have thorough knowledge of what is happening. And then do interviews instead of how with 5, 10 people you show around or whatsoever. Even if you are going to do interviews, use your brain pole that you are going to be 1 meter away from the person, and then you get to how from the cameraman that is a might be an interview, or even if you don't show instead of getting the person. Don't be where it is crowded. Show us what is happening. If you are going to go to Red Cross to document what is happening there, at the hospitals and private clinics, let's cut down the number of programs, best programs you bury. And they are not effective, not a lot of people are watching it. Let's make sure now we are strategizing and coming up with very good programs and content, especially relating to COVID. All the media houses may be abandoned. People are media houses are under capacity. They are not showing things. People are not going out in the field. So Gambian journalists really book a decade. Everybody gets scared when it is tough. People get scared when it is tough. We are frontliners and we must be in the forefront of stuff. And this is when you will be in the history books. This is when you will do things 5 years, 10 years down the line that you can be awarded for. This is when you will do things when you will be invited to go speak to young people and you have to narrate your corona story and how you participated in the fight against coronavirus by disseminating information, by being in the front line. When you will be happy when your footage is used in documentaries, in movies, in music videos, and in different places when people do presentations, when you are invited to give first-hand recap of or encounter of what happened at this place, on this day, on this time. You have to be in the front line and protect yourself. Yes. Your colleagues have it. None of you is prone to it. Now I encourage all of you, I don't know how you will take this, I encourage all of you to then get tested. Because when you get tested, you know it. You know that so I'm a coronavirus and they develop resistance to it. You know what? Antibodies, you guys know that? You develop antibodies, and when you have those antibodies, which means it can be in you, do not affect that you, and you cannot give it to the next person. So when you get tested, it helps you. One, because you are now safe from it. Number two, you will be able to save your family and loved ones too. Of you can be a carrier. When all this while you guys have been to so many places, interacted with even some of your colleagues. When I interviewed Tuff and I asked him, I keep referencing my interview with Tuff because my interview I'm Corona because he interacted with the Vice President Dr. Isaac Ture. He was at the same meeting with Mr. Asanjalo who passed away last week, Belenede.
Legi dañoo sign in nga ñëwaat dégg nga
Mr. Assam Diallo passed away of corona. My own guy percent director. But task was with Mr. Assam Diallo, with the vice president, with Minister of Agriculture, Amifa Bure, Musa Drame, ak guy director bi.
Okay, bana.